there's a lot of events that would wobble the market, even if it was in a rallying mode. The attitude to a rate hiking cycle and to the more aggressive rate hiking cycle, things like that, that would historically have created wobble, even if the trajectory was one way up. You make the point in your copy as well about volatility. It's a calm market. Why are we not seeing traditional? I mean, we all know how it works. We go there, up, down a bit, up, down a bit. Where's the staggered rally? And that worries me that we haven't got that. And I think it worries you too.
Yeah, I mean, it does worry me. But volatility has been persistently lower and lower, tracking lower in these market rallies. And I think right now, when you look across the globe, there's very little risk priced into the market if you look at volatility. Certainly true in the US, but it's also true here in continental Europe and in the UK as well. And I think that certainly does lead to concerns. However, you do have an improving macro backdrop. You do have economic data continuing to inflect higher. I think that there's structural reasons why volatility is low, and I think it's going to remain low. I mean, if you look at the past risk events that we've had over the last 5 years, you would want to sell volatility coming out of any of those risk events. Yeah. Volatility, and what's interesting is that the highs on volatility have been moving lower and lower and lower on these risk aversion events. And so, I think that looking at equity volatility right now is probably not the most perfect measure of and that relationship, I think, to some extent has been broken. So I am still very bullish, though, over the medium term.
Do you know, I don't want to get too techy on this, but I'm slightly worried about this lack of volatility, because I understand it in a small grind upwards as well, because people don't want to own premium because it's a decaying asset. They don't want to own protection because it's a cost as well. But actually, they've had some really staggering gains to the upside. Since the election, and where are we? Since the election, the Dow is up 13.78%. The S&P is up 10.5%. So you've got some pretty big gains if you've been invested. Why not put a bit of insurance there? In a slower grind upwards, I get it. In these kind of moves, I see it as complacency.
Well, I think one of the things that's also been holding down volatility has been the Fed, has been this tremendous amount of central bank accommodation that's been in the market. And I think that has been also dragging down volatility. I think that it's until you start to see realized volatility realizing higher, people are going to be very reluctant to put vol trades on.
Steve, don't buy volatility. It does more damage than Madoff. if you pull up a graph, it's terrible trade to buy volatility.
No, here's the thing. There's lots of clever ways to own a bit of premium as well, and that's the problem. People tend to say, I'll have an at the money put, I'll buy the VIX. And it doesn't work like that. It's not how it should work.